How glad the many millions of Annabelles and Lillians would be to capture me. But you had such persistence, you wore down my resistance. I fell, and it was swell. I'm your big and brave and handsome Romeo. How I won you, I shall never, ever know. It's not that I'm attractive, but oh, my heart grew active when you came into. I've got a crush on you, sweetie pie, all the day and night time. Hear me sigh, I've never had the least notion that I could fall with so much emotion. Could you care? Could you, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Dave Boucher on the sax. We could share the world, we'll pardon my mush, for I have got a crush, my baby, on you. Go ahead, Dave, take it away. Could you care? Could you, I messed up again. I did the same thing for Cunning Cottage. We could share the world, we'll pardon my mush, for I have got a crush, my baby, on you. What was the line again, Pete? I did it the first show. We got 2 shows today. I did the same exact mistake.
Could you coo?
Could you coo?
Could you, what is it again?
Could you coo? Could you care?
Could you coo? Could you do that part again, please? I got to get it right, man. Could you coo? Could you? Oh yeah, that sounds way better. Much better.
There it is. Under my skin.
How's everybody doing tonight? Thank you so much for coming out. The second of 2 shows. I guess we had enough tickets to bring out 2 separate audiences. So God bless you for coming out on a Sunday afternoon.
Ready? Yeah. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and.
I've got you under my skin. I've got you deep in the heart of me, so deep in my heart that you're really a part of me. I've got you under my skin. I tried so not to give in. I said to myself, this affair ain't gonna go so well. How can I try to resist when, baby, I know so well I've got you under my skin? I would sacrifice anything, come what might, for the sake of having you near, in spite of a warning voice that comes in the night and repeats in my ear. Don't you know, you fool, you never can win. Use your mentality, wake up to reality. But each time that I do, just the thought of you makes me stop before I begin. 'Cause I've got you under my skin. All right, just a few seconds now. The horns to my right are gonna blow, so get yourself ready. Sacrifice anything, come what might, for the sake of having you near, in spite of a warning voice that comes in the night and repeats in my ear. Don't you know, you fool, you never can win. Use your mentality, step up, wake up to reality. But each time I do, just the thought of you makes me stop just before I begin. 'Cause I've got you under my skin, and I like you under my skin. Beautiful. Give it up for the horn section, ladies. And Mr. Mike Zalazzo on a trombone. Mr. Jim Neld on a trumpet. Mr. Dave Boucher on saxophone. Mr. Vince Hizon on sax. A very special day for one of our horn players. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Jim's birthday tonight. What it is? I'm glad it's your birthday. Happy birthday to you. Bridge Park. Yes, we're going to a party. Yes, we're gonna have a party, yeah, baby. Yes, we're going to a party. So much better than happy birthday.
Like to be a lady? Like to be a lady? I'll set it up. Like to be a lady.
Oh, Jim, you're a good sport. You've had to endure it twice now. So, ladies and gentlemen, we've had a lot of cool things happen to the band the last few weeks. And one of the highlights of the last quarter, I guess, of the band is that we've been able to do stuff with a lot of different kind of bigger acts, some stars. So none bigger than one Mr. Joe Piscopo from Saturday Night Live from last Saturday night. We did a... everybody remember Joe Piscopo? Yeah. None bigger, none bigger. I mean, they said, hey, who do you want? I said, bring in Piscopo. Anyway, no, but he's a very nice man. Comes out. We did a fundraiser for a very good cause. It was immune systems, immunities. I can't forget the FIPD, but it was a great cause by a couple doctors here in the local area. We did a show at a local hotel, and Joe was the MC. He was the guy of... So, but before the show, the build-up, if you ever deal with these, you know, celebrities... The managers. It's just so... You just... So we said, okay, send us a song list, and we're going to put Joe on the tracks. You know, we have background tracks that he was going to play to. But then he found out that we had a big band, right? So he says, well, could you guys do My Way? Or not My Way. Could you do New York, New York? I go, yeah, of course, we can do New York. Well, can you do Come Fly With Me? I said, sure, yeah. He says, okay, well, I want to do Come Fly With Me. I want to do I've Got You Under My Skin. So he starts listing off all the songs. I said, Jesus, Joe, you're taking away all my songs. And then the one thing that got me was he says, he comes up to the guys, and the guys had a great time. He was a legend. The guys had a great time because he got to stay away from me for the evening. But he says, you know, he called Sinatra the old man. He goes, I knew the old man. I guess he had met the old man a few times back east. He goes, you know, being Italian, the old man and I, we had a few conversations, and nobody should ever do My Way. I said, Joe, well, you're taking half my show. That's the only song I have left after all your... So anyways, pretty exciting. Joe Piscopo, I hate to... But the people that we were playing for were from India, primarily. The doctor throwing the party was Indian. And so Joe insisted that he does a guitar solo. He wanted to do a guitar song. So he made everybody get up and said, all right, this is going to get... He stole Dave's guitar. Didn't steal it. He asked Dave if he could play it. And he wanted to do some Springsteen because he's from New Jersey. I'm going to do some Springsteen. Let's get this crowd let's get this crowd going. So he says, all right, ladies and gentlemen, from New Jersey, we're going to do a little Springsteen. And every Indian person in there was like this. He starts singing a song called Pink Cadillac. Play it, Dave, just a little bit. I love you for your pink Cadillac. So, do this one for me. So I said, nobody danced, unfortunately. She says, oh, so we're going to turn it over to the band. So we get up there and we hit this one. Go ahead, hit it. For them hood girls, them good girls, straight masterpiece. Styling, wildin', living it up in the city. I got Chuck's on and singing wrong. Gonna kiss myself, so pretty. Too hot, hot damn. Cut a police and a fireman. Too hot, hot damn. Make a dragon wanna retire, man. Too hot, hot damn. So that's what we did. Hey, man, we said, hey, Joe, that may be the way they do it in New Jersey, but this is how you do it in Southern California, baby. Very nice man, very entertaining. Cassidy, could I have a, this is water. Could I have a, no. Second show, baby. Could I have a light beer of your choice, Corona light beer? Anyways, so Mr. Pete Jacobson here, and I put this band together in 2011. And one of my favorite eras was Sinatra at the Sands Hotel, and no other song captures that era more than this song. Here we go.
1, 2, 3.
They call you Lady Luck. Right on cue. These bartenders here, man, these waitresses and bartenders, they got the system down. Thanks for bringing me the beer. At times you have a very unladylike way of running out. You're on this date with me. The pickings have been lush, and yet before this evening is over, you might give me the brush. You might forget your manners. You might refuse to stay. And so the best that I can do is pray. Watch out. Luck, be a lady tonight. I like the hat, man. Luck, be a lady tonight. If you've ever been a lady to begin with, we're together now. Luck, be a lady tonight. Bye. Luck, let a gentleman see how nice a dame you can be, baby. I know the way you treated other guys you've been with. Come on, Luck, be a lady with me. Watch out. A lady doesn't leave her escort. It isn't fair. It's not nice. Lady doesn't wander all over the room and then blow on some other guy's dice. Attaboy, Tommy, hit it. Let's keep this party polite. Never get out of my sight. Stick with me, baby. I'm the fella you came in with. Oh, Luck, be a lady tonight. Watch out. Luck, let a gentleman see just how nice a dame you can be. I know the way you treated other guys you've been with. Oh, Luck, be a lady with me. A lady doesn't leave her escort. It isn't fair, attaboy, Pete, and it's not nice. Lady doesn't wander all over the room and then blow on some other guy's dice. Let's keep the party polite. Never get out of my sight. Stick with me, baby. I'm a fella you came in with. Oh, Luck, be a lady. Look, be a lady. Luck be a lady tonight. Thank God for the music, huh? Because the jokes are taking everybody south. See, the nice part is if you think you're a comedian and you start to bomb, the music kind of brings you back together. It keeps the show moving forward. Before we move on, I'd like to try at least one joke, if that's okay. Now that beach season is over, we're moving into the holidays. I'm going to tell a summer joke. What's the worst thing you can hear when you're wearing a bathing suit?
Shark. Close.
Good for you. Good for you. I wasn't going to say it, but I'm glad you did. So this next song, this next song was by the way, does anybody know who sang that last song originally and where it came from? Guys and Dolls, who sang it? Marlon Brando. I hear a deep voice over here. Marlon Brando. That's right. Smart. Did you ever hear Marlon sing it? Marlon? We're on a first name basis, Marlon and I. You got to bring her. I'm glad you're in the front row. You're the only person laughing. You're coming to every show. Are they sticking helium in your wine? Laughing gas. Anyways, Marlon Brando, and Marlon sang it like this. Luck be a lady tonight. I Googled it last week, and thank God Frank did another version of it. But this next song was also originally intended for somebody else. It used to be called In Other Words, and it was intended for a guy by the name of Tony Bennett, who's still alive. 94, 95, I want to say. What a treasure. And still doing it with Lady Gaga kicking tail. But this was originally for Tony Bennett. Fly me to the moon, let me play among the stars. Let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. In other words, hold my hand. In other words, baby, kiss me. Fill my heart with song, let me sing forevermore. You are all I long for, all I worship and adore. In other words, please be true. In other words, I love you. Go ahead, boy. Fill my heart with song, let me sing forevermore. You are all I long for, all I worship and adore. In other words, please be true. In other words, I love you. Oh. Now here's the beauty of Sinatra as a singer. And people had kind of different opinions about Sinatra, but one thing that was kind of the underlying theme is Sinatra could swing. He loved to swing. When you're doing music, the best musicians fill in space. They meet in between. It's not all muddied, it's spaced, and it's in between. That's what makes good music. That's what makes great musicians. It's being able to fill those gaps in just the right way. So a lot of people will sing, and this is the teacher in me. I was a teacher for 20 years. I was a Spanish teacher. Era maestro de español para más de 20 años. Para todos mis amigos en la casa que hablan español, yo quiero dedicar esta parte de la programa para ustedes. ¿Dónde están mis latinos en la casa? ¿Dónde están mis latinos en la casa? Por favor, te quiero oír. No. What were we talking about? Sinatra. Let's get it back. Come on, he's good. Which reminds me of another story. I'll tell that in a few minutes. But anyways, Sinatra most people deliver this song like this. Pete, if you would indulge me. Fly me to the moon, let me play among the stars. You see the difference? So now watch. Now watch with swing. Fly me to the moon, let me play among the stars. Let me see what spring is like on Jupiter. You see the difference? Do you see the difference? Better, can you hear the difference? Yes. Don't mean a thing if it ain't got that swing. Do-wop, do-wop, do-wop. Da 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 da. Do up, 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 do up. So, anyways, we did a show for this beautiful place called Laguna Woods. Right? Anybody know Laguna Woods?
In the front row.
Hey, get no respect. Laguna Woods. Anyways, Laguna Woods, and this beautiful lady comes out. I can't remember her name. Lovely lady. Starts talking about all the upcoming shows. And she says, well, we got the results from the quiz that we took from all the tribute bands that we've had here. And the top band was Jerry Lee Lewis, followed by the AC/DC tribute band, followed by Queen, and at the bottom of the list, number 10. And number 10, bringing up the rear, was the tribute band to Charo. So So I walk out and I said, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if we're going to be able to keep up with Charo. We'll try our best to make sure that nobody's disappointed, but if Charo is number 10, I think we'll be somewhere between 8 and 1. But this is, when we first started playing, Dave and I, we've been together in the Tijuana Dogs. Anybody know the Tijuana Dogs? See? Rock star, man. Anyways, but the Tijuana Dogs, we've been together for a better part of 20 years, since the late 90s. And when we first started doing, weddings, we started doing weddings a few years thereafter. And if we ever pulled off at a wedding AC/DC, people would, wait, what the hell are you doing? Let's get that Motown going. Get that stuff back up here. You know, we could do Sinatra, but if we ever did... Nowadays, you go to a wedding, and the people that were 30 back then are 50-something, and the people that were 50 are now 70s. You better do some AC/DC or you're going to get booed off the stage. You better do the Stones. Do me some Stones. Right? If you don't do Stones at a Laguna Woods party, man, they're going to treat you like Sinatra's grandfather. Go ahead. She bound for cotton fields, sold on the market down in New Orleans. Scared old slave and know you're doing all right. Here I'm with the whim and just around midnight. A brown sugar, look up and dance so good, yeah. A brown sugar, just like a black girl should have. This is a Sinatra show.
Beyond the sea, beyond the sea, beyond the sea, beyond the sea. Oh. Hey, Murray. Yeah, double, just in a sit.
Sorry, we're just getting a little sidetracked here. It's been a long day. I want to talk a little bit about Bobby Darin, one of my favorites. And I'm going to stay focused for Bobby Darin. Bobby Darin passed away at 36 years old. Bobby Darin, in his early 30s, found out that his mother was actually his grandmother, and the woman who he thought was his sister was actually his mother. Bobby Darin had a severe fever, I'm not sure what type, as a young child, and it damaged his heart. At 36, he went in for surgery. And in recovery, he made it through. In recovery, he died. Very sad. Tragic story for such a talented human being. Today, the only way that I can relate with my kids about Bobby Darin is through Pixar and Disney movies. So I segued the fact that this song was in a movie called Finding Nemo with telling my kids about Bobby Darin. For those of you that only know it through Finding Nemo, Wikipedia.
1, 2, 3.
I love this song. Somewhere beyond the sea, somewhere waiting for me, my lover stands on golden sands and watches the ships that go sailing. Somewhere beyond the sea, she's there waiting for me. If I could fly like birds on high, then straight to her arms I'd go sailing. It's far beyond the stars, it's near beyond the moon. I know without a doubt, my heart will lead me there soon. We'll meet, I know we'll meet beyond the shore. We'll kiss just as before. Happy we'll be beyond the sea and never go sailing. Tom Dante. Once again, Mr. Dave Boucher. Tom, hit it. And I know beyond a doubt my heart will lead me there soon. On the shore, we'll kiss just as before. Happy we'll be beyond the sea, and never again I'll go sailing. So long, sailors. Bye-bye, bye-bye. So long, Captain. Hello, sailors. You're all sailors. Hey! Isn't that a beautiful song? Sounds good up here. Thank you so much, Janvier. Sounds fantastic. How's it sound for you out there? Sounding good? So I'm from a little town here in Southern California called Huntington Beach, California. And it was really interesting. In the first show, there was a young lady here, and she said she was a Huntington Beach lifeguard. I said, oh, really? I said, I was a Huntington Beach lifeguard also for 22 years, right? And I used to get in trouble a lot.
No. You?
Because I would be whistling and humming and singing to myself all the time. Hazard of the job. And one time, we used to have these CB radios that every agency up and down the beach could hear, right? And you would go, like, if you wanted to say something to somebody else, you would always use code. So you'd say, 5210 4906 Tower 5, 5210 1047, 1098, 1097, 1098, God is code 4. So you'd have all these codes. So one time I made an announcement, and then I put it back on the rack, but the key, the button which you hold it down, automatically was, mistakenly was pushed up against another microphone. So it was what they call an open mic. So every police department, every agency, everybody from San Diego to LA County could hear what was on my mic. And whenever you get an open mic, because it happens every once in a while, you turn it up and you just listen. And you go, oh, shh, this is great, this is great. So when I got back to headquarters later on that day, my friends were like, oh, dude, we heard you hitting on girls. We heard you singing somewhere beyond the sea. I used to drive up and down singing. But I realized that the voice, I had something going with this particular range of vocal things because I used to work in this tower on the pier. They called it Zero Tower. And the Zero Tower was on anybody been on the Huntington Beach Pier? You know the guy that makes the announcements? Well, I did that for a better part of about 17 years. I was in that tower. They stuck me up there a lot. And I would be able to make announcements, you know. Attention on the beach, no dogs. No dogs on the beach, thank you. Attention on the pier, please walk your skateboard on the pier. Walk your skateboard. I was like 94.7, the wave on the beach. I called it the smooth storm. Attention on the pier. Could you imagine an announcement like that? Keep the groove going. So the best was I would my brother or a family member would come to the beach and I would make an announcement. I'd say, attention on the beach, we are holding a lost child with the parents of Gabe Mauser. Gabe Mauser, please report to the nearest lifeguard tower on the beach. Thank you. He's wearing blue shorts, a white t-shirt. He stands about 6'3", curly hair. He's single, and anybody that wants to meet him, please come to the Zero Tower. He's had a couple bad relationships, but he's hoping that someday beyond the sea, his love will come walking in. Little story about me. Let's do a little beer drinking music, shall we? With the holidays so close, everybody's gonna need to get your fill on. Sing it. Roll out the barrel. Any Germans in the house? We'll have a barrel. Any Irish in the house? Roll. Tenemos latinos en la casa. A barrel. Everybody, all you drinkers, here. We'll have a barrel. Any Russians in the house? Oh, la da da da, Russian dolls in the house. Oh, they're so full of themselves, baby. I'd like to hear you sing along. Oh, 'cause I am feeling good. Just one big hit to spot. Now time to give you all that we got. Watch out. When the shark bites with his teeth big, and he shows them pearly white, just the jackknife has old MacHeath, baby, and he keeps it all out of sight. You know, when the shark bites with his teeth, dear, scarlet billows start to spread. Fancy glove, though, where's old MacHeath Mike? So there's never Jim, a trace of Dave, Vince, Dave, yeah, and there's Bot Bait, Bot Pete, Tom Pete, oh, Bot Pete, Matt, Dave, Vince, and Dave. Mike, Jim, Tom, Jim, Mike, Jim, Jim, Tom. So there's never, oh, change the line, yeah. There's a tugboat bay down by the river, don't you know? Where the cement bag just drooping on down. Hey! That cement is there for the weight, baby. I will get you 10, you know that old Maggie's back in town. Ah, Louis Miller, he disappeared long after drawing out all his heart and cash. But Mac, he's fed just like a sailor. Could it be our boys done something rash? Shimmy now. Na 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 na. Oh, Suki Tadre. Oh, Mr. Lonnie Lee. And oh, Lucy Brown. Oh, that love falls. It falls on the right, baby. Natty Maggie, yeah, back in town. Na 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 na, Jenny Diver. Oh, Suki Tadre. Hey, Mr. Lottie Lino. And oh, Lucy Brown. Oh, that love falls. It falls on the right, baby. Now that Mackie's back in town. Look at old Mackie is. Woo! That's originally a German song. Does everybody know that? You know who rewrote the lyrics? was Johnny Mercer. Johnny Mercer rewrote those lyrics. Johnny Mercer, Frank once said, was his favorite songwriter. Johnny Mercer wrote songs like... I don't know, that's why I'm asking you. Misty, Satin Doll. Sorry, I messed up. I better just stay away from Johnny Mercer's songs. Chances are. Oh, I wear. Let's do some. You know what I've never done? Johnny Mathis. Look, can we do Misty?
Yeah.
I need a drink. No, don't do it, please. We're just gonna try.
Get it going, Dave.
Dave, you know this one? Look at me. I'm as helpless as a kitten in a tree. Could it be the sound of your hello? That music I hear, I get misty the moment you're near. Call my name, and 1,000 violins begins to play. Could it be the sound of your hello? I can't understand. I get misty holding your hand. You could say that I'm leading you on. It's just what you want me to do. Don't you notice how helplessly I am lost? That's why I'm following you. And on my own, would I wander through this wonderland alone, never knowing my right foot from my hand from my glove. I'm too misty, too much in love. Woo! God, it helps to be talented. Because if it ain't there, man, you're hitting rock bottom, baby. I got a joke, just to show you my non-talent. I referred to Russians. I just hate Russian dolls. They're so full of themselves. Sorry. Tough room, I'm telling you.
I'll tell you, it's a tough room.
Ladies and gentlemen, so we did a Joe Piscopo show, and Joe, at one point during Mac the Knife, he starts doing different voices. And his first voice he did was Rodney Dangerfield. I'll tell you, hey. And I said, it's not very good. And then he did Elvis, and it was like, then he did Schwarzenegger, and all the Indians were like this. I cannot hear what they say. But we have a legit Rodney Dangerfield imitator in our band. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Mr. Bart Brodnick. Would you like to hear Bart do a Rodney Dangerfield? Hold on, Bart.
I'll tell you. Get no respect at all. I'll tell you. Even my son doesn't give me respect. I told my son, take out the trash. He said, you married her, you take her out. I'll tell you.
Horrible.
That's it. No.
It's a quota.
It's a quota.
Well, we can do a contract that looks green and has presidential faces on it. I'm going to have to step aside, Bart. You got a future. So 1978. Anybody remember 1978? Man, you guys have been around a long time. 1978, I was 7 years old. Oh. And my grandfather calls me into the room. And he's watching TV. And he says, "Hey, come here. I want to show you something." I said, what is he? He says, we were watching a TV show called The Merv Griffin Show. Anybody remember The Merv Griffin Show? They had Mike Douglas, they had Dick Cavett, but Merv Griffin was kind of the creme de la creme of evening shows before Johnny Carson came on. Anyway, so he says, "You see that guy right there?" I said, "Yeah, what's the big deal?" He goes, "That's Tom Jones." I said, "What's the big deal?" He says, I said, "He looks weird. He's too much to take in." But here was Tom Jones. Curly hair coming out, pants really tight, moving around. And I said to myself, that's what I want to do. I said, that's it. I finally figured it out after 7 years of life. So I said, I said, "What's the big deal?" You know, he said, "Grandma likes Tom Jones." Do you remember the TVs? You remember the TVs back then? You got like, how many? 7 channels? You got channel 2, 4, 5. KCBS, KNBC, KTTTV, was it KTLA, channel 5, channel 7, KABC, channel 9, KCOP, right?
No, that's 13.
No, you're right, sorry. Channel 9 was not KCAL.
KHJTV.
KHJ, that's right. Channel 11, KTTV. Channel 13, KCOP. And then UHF, you could get Popeye commercials and cartoons on Sunday. You got a good workout in just watching TV. Remember, you had to get out of the chair and turn it like this. Tom Jones.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
I want to make sure you can see. It's not unusual to be loved by anyone. Not unusual to have fun with anyone. When I see you hanging around with anyone, it's not unusual to see me cry. I wanna die. Not unusual to go out anytime. When I see the world about it's such a crime. Did you never want to be loved by anyone? It's not unusual, it happens every day. No matter what they say, you'll find it happens all the time. Love would never do what you wanted to. Why can't this crazy love be mine? Come on. Not unusual to go anytime. When I see a world about it, such a crime. You should ever want to be loved by anyone. It's not unusual to find out I'm in love with you. No. Follow me, Michael Jackson. So anyways, that was when I figured it out. I wanted to be an entertainer, just like Tom Jones. So I took my talents to a beautiful place called Huntington Beach, California, where in the early 80s, I was ostracized and made fun of and ridiculed and made pick up sunflower seeds from bigger kids who spit them out. That's a true story. So I figured out that that kind of music didn't really fly too much in 1980s Huntington Beach. Huntington Beach was more of a punk rock town in the 80s. And if you wanted to survive, you had to dress, act, look, function in a punk rock world, which for a guy who liked Tom Jones didn't really fly. Then all of a sudden came this guy that changed everything by the name of Michael Jackson. Woo! Yeah. And I remember the first time I saw Michael Jackson, it was on this show called Motown 25, right? It was 1982. I was about 1 year old. And he gets up there, and I knew who he was, but I'd never seen anybody move. I'd never seen anybody dance like this guy. And I said, that's the new Tom Jones in my life. And so I remember I went to this little junior high school called Dwyer Junior High, where you could get beat up just walking out of the bathroom and having a wrong hairdo. And for a little guy like me, I was about, I was like Peter Frampton playing, I looked like if Peter Frampton was to play the Lakers, that's what I looked like, And so I walk out there, and we had a school dance, and all of a sudden, all this punk rock music, but then one song came on. And I just remember it moved me for some reason, and I started moving like this. I just started going. All of a sudden, the crowd that was in the center, I was in the middle of the dance floor, and it just started moving to the walls. And there I was in the middle of the dance floor, absolutely true story. And everybody started watching me, and I was like, what's going on? And I got embarrassed. And at 12 years old, 13 years old, you kind of move away, but then there was this big Latino kid named Doobie Escobedo. And I knew him since I was little, and he goes, get back out there. Dance. I said, okay. And this is kind of what came out. Go ahead, Tom. That's it. That's all you get. Stop. She was my beauty queen of a movie scene. I said, no, mama, what do you mean? I am the one who danced on the floor and around. She says, I am the one who danced on the floor and around. All right, good. Tom Jones was replaced by Michael Jackson. I figured it out. I said, someday between being in the seventh grade and driving up and down the beach trying to meet girls singing in a lifeguard truck, something beyond the sea is waiting for me. And then it happened. And then I met this guy right here, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Pete Jacobs. And I met this guy. I was taking his class at Orange Coast College. And these two men right here, this is a true story, they changed my life forever. That's the absolute truth. And I walked up to Dave and I said, hey, Dave, would you like to play in my rock and roll band? He goes, what's the name of the band? I said, I don't know. We'll figure it out once you say yes. And 20-something years later, here we are, buddy, at Campus JAX in a second show. And what would a Sinatra show be without a little Dean Martin? Let's do a little Uncle Dean. Go ahead.
Ready? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
I don't do a very good Dean, but I'm going to try. How lucky can one guy be? I kissed her and she kissed me. Like the fella once said, ain't that a kick in the head? The room turned completely black. I kissed her and she kissed back. Like the sailor said, quote, ain't that a hole in the bone? Hey, my love keeps spinning. I go to sleep, I keep grinning. If this is just the beginning, my life is gonna be beautiful. There's sunshine enough to spare. It's just like the fella said. Hey, tell me quick, ain't love a kick in the head. Like the fella once said, ain't that a kick in the head? Like the sailor said, quote, ain't that a hole in the boat? Hey, my life keeps spinning. I go to sleep, I keep grinning. If this is just the beginning, my life is gonna be beautiful. There's sunshine enough to spread. It's just like the fella said. Hey, tell me quick, ain't love a kick or I'd be dead. I forgot. Hey, tell me quick, ain't love a kick. Attaboy, Tommy. Hey, tell me quick, ain't love a kick in the head. Woo! She is so good, Cassidy. This segues into my next song. Back to Frank for a little bit. 1955. My grandparents moved out here from a little place, very little place, little state called Rhode Island. And they moved to the lovely town of Garden Grove, California. Garden Grove and the foothills or the footsteps or just the feet of Anaheim, California. Merely a hop, skip, and a jump from the greatest place on earth. The Crystal Cathedral. Built by one Mr. Robert Schuller in 1980, made of complete of glass. Wait, that's not the place. They lived on a little street called Chapman, and at night you could see the fireworks go up. My grandfather moved out here, and he started a place called Hawkeye Motors in Anaheim, California, where within 2 years he had gone straight to the ground. He drove it to the ground. And so he wanted to become an actor. Thought here in Hollywood, an ex-army guy could get a job as an actor, and so he went to find out where Frank Sinatra was having lunch. And he was at a little place called the Knickerbocker Hotel in Hollywood, California, and he walked in one afternoon and he said, "Hey, Frank, I'm from back east. I'm trying to get my Screen Actors Guild card. They're not allowing me to get it. Could you help me out?" And Frank said, come back tomorrow, I'll take care of you. Sure enough, he came back the next day, and he got my grandfather his Screen Actors Guild card the very next day. My grandfather went on to have a very successful career as a character actor with movies like Paint Your Wagon, Bonanza, The Big Valley. He always got killed in every show. He was always the guy that got shot. But my grandmother, up until the day she died, received residual checks from my grandfather's Screen Actors Guild, care of Mr. Frank Sinatra. But the very next week, Frank's manager gave him a call and said, Pat, we need you to come up. We want to put you in Frank Sinatra's special, sponsored by Chesterfield Cigarettes. My grandfather smoked Lucky Strikes. In bed, at night. That's the way, non-filter. That's the way they did it back in the days. And so he showed up, and Frank put him in his special. 40 years later, I'm browsing YouTube, and there's my grandfather serving drinks to Frank Sinatra as the bartender. This song is playing, and Frank comes in, and for a moment in time, around 1960 or thereabouts, Frank Sinatra sang for my grandfather. This song. It's 2:45. There's no one in the place. Except let it out, baby. I don't care. So set 'em up, Joe. I got a little story you ought to know. We're drinking, my friend, to the end of a brief episode. Make it one for my baby, one more for the road. I got the routine, so put another nickel in the machine. I'm feeling so bad. Can't you make the music easy and sad? I could tell you a lot, but you've got to be true to your code. Make it one for my baby, one more for the road. You'd never know it, but buddy, I'm a kind of poet, and I got a lot of things I need to say. When I'm feeling gloomy, you gotta listen to me till it's all talked away. Well, that's how it goes. And Joe, I know you're getting anxious to close. Thanks for the beer. I hope you didn't mind my bending your ear. But this torch that I found, it's gotta be drowned, or it soon will explode. Make it one for my baby, one more for the road. The long It's a long, long road. Mr. Pat Holly. Thank you. You know, that's one of my favorite songs to sing, and a lot of times I think that it's because the connection with my grandfather, like so many other songs that we have of Frank Sinatra, and maybe you can relate, these songs connect with us on a very deep level, not only because we enjoy them, because we remember somebody who enjoyed them. And that, for me, is a good enough reason to continue doing this. As Joe Piscopo said, let's carry on the music of the old man. Yeah, that was Johnny Mercer. Dave just reminded me of that. That was Johnny Mercer who wrote that. And people often ask me, what's my favorite song to do by Sinatra? And I have a lot, obviously a lot of them, but one of my favorites to do is a song called Call Me Irresponsible. And the reason I like it is because Frank used to sing, Nelson Riddle said that after Frank's relationship with Ava Gardner, everybody knows he dated Ava Gardner for a long time, and she was a drinker and a smoker. He married her. He was his second wife. He left his first wife for Ava Gardner. And no other love compared to Ava Gardner. She broke his heart. But Nelson Riddle, who was the arranger for all these beautiful songs, so many of them, said that once his relationship with Ava was over, nobody could sing a torch song or a song that really dives deep into your heart like Sinatra after the relationship. And when I listen to this on Alexa, I'm reminded of just how right Nelson Riddle was, just how powerful a torch song delivered by Frank Sinatra is. In the beginning of this song, the thing that really gets me is his hum. Nobody hums in songs anymore. Mm-hmm. 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 Call me irresponsible. Call me unreliable. Throw in undependable too. So pretty. Do my foolish alibis bore you? Well, I'm not too clever. I just adore you. Call me unpredictable. Tell me I'm impractical. Rainbows I'm inclined to pursue. Call me irresponsible. Yes, I'm undeniable, but it's undeniably true. I'm irresponsibly mad for you. Is it just me? Or does Dave Boucher, the handsomest guy in the band? call me irresponsible. Yes, I'm unreliable, but it's undeniably true. I'm irresponsibly mad for you. Isn't that a beautiful song? Alexa, play Call Me Irresponsible. Alexa, Call Me Irresponsible by Frank Sinatra, remastered 1988. And that's the way it works in my house, and I'll be right in the middle of it, and I'll be just absorbing the sound. I have a lot of different songs where it just hits you, it moves you. And you'll be quiet in the room, quiet in your living room, quiet in our kitchen. In our case, it's in our kitchen. And then my 3-year-old comes in. And we take turns with Alexa. That's a whole different story. But my 3-year-old will walk in and say, Alexa, play Baby Shark. And how quickly we are reminded of reality. But hey, that's life, man. That's life, baby. Hit it, huh? Oh, that's life. That's what all the people say. You're riding high in April. What's next? Shot down in May. No, I'm gonna change my tune when I'm back on top in June. I said that's life. Funny as it may seem, some people get their kicks stomping on your dream. But I don't let it get me down. 'Cause this fine old world, it keeps spinning around. What's that? I've been a puppet, a pauper, a pirate, a poet, a pawn and a king. I've been up and down and over and out. And I know one thing. Each time I find myself laying flat on my face, I pick myself up and get back in the race. Oh, that's life. I tell you, I can't deny it. Many times I thought of quitting, baby, but just heart just ain't gonna buy it. If I didn't think it was worth one single try, I'd jump right on a big bird and then I fly. Watch out! I've been a puppet, a pauper, a pirate, a poet, a pawn and a king. I've been up and down and over and out. And I know one thing, Dave, each time I find myself flat on my face, I pick myself up and get back in the race. Oh, that's life. I tell you, I can't deny it. Many times I thought of quitting, baby. Oh, this heart just ain't gonna buy it. There's nothing shaking come this here July. I'm gonna roll myself up in a big ball and die. Everybody. My Hold on. Now, the worst part about having to get... The worst part about coming off the stage is getting back up. How do you look graceful getting back? Hit it, Pete. Come on, hit it.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
I'm back. Everybody sing it. Start spreading the news. I'm leaving today. I want to be a part of it. New York, these vagabond shoes are yearning to stray right through the very heart of it. New York, New York, I want to wake up in a city that doesn't sleep and find I'm king of the hill, top of the heap. These little town blues are melting away. I'll make a brand new start of it in old New York. If I can make it there, I'll make it anywhere. It's up to you, New York, New York. All right, y'all, come on. New York, New York, I want to wake up in a city that doesn't sleep and find I'm a number one, top of the list, king of the hill, a number one. These little town blues are melting away. I'll make a brand new start of it in old New York. And if I can make it there, I'll make it anywhere. It's up to you, New York, New York, New You guys are great. Thank you so much for coming out. On your Sunday, we're gonna get you wrapped up and home before bed, before the 11 o'clock news, before the sun comes up. Let's mix it up just a little bit, and then we're gonna tie this thing together, put a bow on it, and have you ready for the holidays like nobody else. Go ahead. Y'all. Saturday in the park, I think it was the 4th lost man still can tell stories his own way. Listen, children, all is not lost. All is not lost. Oh, no, no. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Mr. Pete Jacobs, Mr. Bart Brodnack. Every day's the 4th of July. 40 days in the park. Every day's the 4th of July. People reaching, people touching, a real celebration. Waiting for the song. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce the band, if I may, at this time. The birthday boy, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jim Neld, right here on the trumpet. On the trombone, Mr. Mike Zalazzo. On saxophone, Mr. Dave Boucher. Also on sax, Mr. Vince Hizon. On guitar, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. David Murdy. Keeping the beat all night on the drums, Mr. Tom Dante. On the bass and vocals, Mr. Bart Brodnax. And putting the charts together, playing keyboard tonight, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Pete Jacobs. And now the song that nobody but Elvis or Frank Sinatra should ever do, according to Joe Piscopo. But we're going to do it tonight. And now the end is near, and so I face the final curtain. My friends, I'll make it clear. I'll state my case, of which I'm certain. I've lived a life that's full. I've traveled each and every highway, but more, much more than this, I did it. Now we're all guilty. Regrets, I've had a few, but then again, too few to mention. I did what I had to do and saw through without exception. I planned each charted course, each careful step along the byways, and more, much more than this, I did it. Yes, there were times, I'm sure you knew, when I bit off more than I could chew. But through it all, when there was doubt, I ate it up and spit it out. I stood tall, I faced them all, and did it my way. I've loved, I've laughed and cried, had my share of losing, Now as 'tis subside, I find it all so amusing to think Campus JAX, we did all this tonight. And may I say, never in a shy way. Oh no, not us. We did it. Our third person plural. For what's a man? Second person plural. What has he got? Possessive pronoun. If not himself, then he has not to say the things he truly feels, and not the words of one who kneels. The record shows we took the blows and did it my Yes, it was my way. Thank you so much, everybody. God bless you. Have a wonderful holiday season. God bless you. Thank you.